back in the lineup.
You saw a familiar name as well in that starting lineup, Xavier Booker, who just jumped it up for UCLA, the transfer from Michigan State, wearing the #1 and guarding the basketball.
And Booker's going to be counted on a lot, changing kind of how he plays here at UCLA versus what he did at Michigan State, being asked to be more of a 5, rebound, protect the paint, and run the court.
Eastern Washington gets the first bucket of the night. Stratton Rogers with the first 2. UCLA played a couple of exhibitions against UC Irvine and San Diego State, won both of them.
Dan Munson's been coming in here for years with Long Beach State, now at Eastern Washington, so he's not afraid of coming in here to Pauley Pavilion. It's just a matter of his players can take some of that confidence that Munson has from playing here for so many years.
Here's Clark outside. It was Booker inside, and Mick Cronin's been adamant. Sky Clark is primed for a big year.
Well, everyone's been talking so much about Donovan Dent, and they should be, and his accolades from last year and what he brings to the table. But you talk to the UCLA coaching staff, they are raving about Sky Clark and how good he has been in the exhibitions and in practice. Mick Cronin said that Clark and Dent are going to be the best backcourt he's ever coached, which is saying something. He's been around a long time.
There's Clark with the poke away, and here comes Donovan Dent in transition. Dent, a Cousy Award watch list, one of the 20 point guards on that list to start the season.
Here's what jumps off the page about Dent. He plays at his own speed. He can't get sped up. He understands the game. Decision making. Obviously, he could score 20 a night last year at New Mexico, but to me, just the game manager, knowing when to get his own like that and when to get others involved. And I think that's the biggest key for him and UCLA this year, is that balance they have with a true point guard. You know, similar to when Tiger Campbell was here and they had those good teams that went to the Final Four. Tiger Campbell was that game manager that was able to get his own, but obviously get others involved.
High archer for Isaiah Moses, and here comes Dent again. How many of those guys really exist, the true point guards?
There's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of guys that play point guard as Dent scores again, but just it's the decision making and finding that balance. And I'm going to use that word a lot when describing Dent here in the early part of the season, because to your point, Guy, there's a lot of guys that struggle with that balance. They're either guys that get their own and don't facilitate as well as they could, or the other way, they facilitate and really can't get their own. Donovan Dent is both those guys.
Second deflection of the game already for Sky Clark, and he's short on the 3.
Now, we know this about Mick Cronin's team, and we're talking a lot about offense here early as Bilodeau gets beat for the bucket. But it starts on that end. The defense, the numbers jump off the page since Mick Cronin's been here, holding teams. Last year they led the Big Ten Conference in opponents' points per game, but turnover margin. And the interesting thing about UCLA last year was their turnovers per game, non-steal turnovers, which is unusual. A lot of teams get turnovers from steals. UCLA is really not that team. They're just so good and so disciplined defensively that they turn the other team over without having to steal it.
Isaiah Moses, a deep 3, another open miss, but another offensive rebound for the Eagles.
Mentioned Dan Munson and bringing his team in here, Eastern Washington. You know they're going to play hard, and that's obvious here right out of the chute that they're playing with great energy.
Kyrie Huey gives it up, and that bucket's good from Rogers.
Huey played at Miami last year, so coming from high major Division I basketball to Eastern Washington, you would expect he's going to have a major impact for Eastern Washington this year.
Bilodeau short on the jumper. Bilodeau averaged 13.6 points per game last year, led the Bruins, returns along with Sky Clark and Daly.
And one thing early, Guy, is Bilodeau played a lot of the 5 last year just because he had to, and now with Booker, and we'll see Jamerson here I'm sure soon, he's back to the 4. So what does that change for him? In some ways it makes it harder for him to score because he took advantage of a lot of 5 men out on the perimeter last year, and now he's going to have a matchup that will be a little more equipped to guard him out there when he's on the perimeter.
Donovan Dent gives it up to Sky Clark. Now here's Booker. He's got the green light, and he connects in the mid-range. That looked good.
He can shoot, and that's never been the question for Booker. He can step out, he can make threes, but the question was, can you do the inside things and step out and make a 3? And I think that's what Mick Cronin's really been working hard with him on, is let's start with the inside stuff, and then when you get opportunities on the perimeter, you knock them in.
Moses hits the 3.
talking to the UCLA coaching staff, they said we can't let Moses come in here and beat us. He's had experience, played at UC Riverside, played in this building.
Sky Clark hits the triple.
Playing with so much confidence, Sky Clark. And we'll get to what his situation last year and all the responsibility he had and all the pressure and all that, but playing with a lot more freedom here this season. It shows not only in the exhibitions, but here in the first 5 minutes.
He's got a couple of threes. I don't even want to mention what we haven't had yet, Don. Here's Moses.
Right on cue, guy.
There's our first
way to start the season off.
There's our first whistle of the game. Donovan Dent's off to a fast start.
Donovan Dent, so confident. His year he had at New Mexico is just translating right here to Pauley.
He recommended Richard Pitino take Donovan Dent, and he did so, and they had great success together.
And what I love about Dent, it's not like he walked into Albuquerque and was a superstar right off the bat. Like, it started slow for him, but he got better his second year, and then last year had that monster year, and now here he is at UCLA. But again, you can press Dent and Clark all you want. You ain't going to speed them up. You're not going to turn them over. Just so experienced and so confident with the ball in their hands, either of them. I think Clark likes playing off the ball a little bit more than Dent does, but he can bring it up if you need him to.
Clark is finding it early. A couple of threes, and now the mid-range jumper.
And defensively, Clark, not a real big guy, but we'll keep an eye on it. Mick Cronin was telling you and I before the game that you just can't screen Sky Clark. And think about that, how much ball screen action there is in college basketball. And if Clark's in that screen, you are not going to screen him.
Donovan Dent can't finish. Tapped out by Booker and Williams. Double clutch. No. Booker again creates a possession for the offense.
Good back tap by Booker. And that's what they're asking him to do. Be a presence, be a force in the paint first, and then you can get to the perimeter.
Not too many guys in their careers get to be coached by the two men that Booker's been coached by now, Tom Izzo and Mick Cronin. Yeah. There's the dunk for Alton Hamilton off the bench.
Well, give Eastern Washington credit here. The first 7 minutes we've seen over the years, guys, it's easy to come in here and be down 20 after 7 or 8 minutes, but it's tied.
Well, it happened in the scrimmage with Irvine the other day, where you just go cold against this UCLA defense. Sky Clark, extra pass from Brown. And Williams commits the foul, second for UCLA. Mick Cronin, we had so much pace, we didn't get to meet the coaches. There is Mick Cronin, 53 years old, the youngest active coach in the 500 win club, starting his 7th year here at UCLA.
And he likes this team, Guy. He stopped short of saying this is his best team at UCLA, obviously, because the season hadn't even started, but he likes this group. I was at practice about a month ago, and the spirit, the energy of this group is really, really good. And I think that matters in this day and age of college basketball. And look, we got a long ways to go. It's only the first game, but I think this UCLA team's got a chance to do more than even what people are expecting.
Moses, tough attempt at a finish. He couldn't get it down. Trent Perry in the game off the bench with the outlet to Dent, and Dent creates the contact and the foul.
That counts. That new rule this year, the continuation, where you get that extra step and pivot after the hit, the old NBA and one.
And it does count.
Yeah, yep. That's going to count. That's a new rule this year that they implemented, and I love it. I love that rule. You know, why should you not be rewarded or taken away just because the guy fouls you early? If you can make the shot after taking the hit and take one step, it absolutely should count. So I'm glad they changed that rule.
And Dent gets the free throw. Fantastic officiating crew tonight. You saw Nate Harris and Randy Richardson with the two discussing it and coming to the conclusion along with Vern Harris.
Well, and here's the thing, Guy. Dent is very good at drawing fouls because no one can stay in front of him, so he gets into the paint off 2 feet a lot. So that rule is really going to benefit him, and you just saw it.
Dent with 7 points here in the early going. He had 16 and 18 in the 2 exhibitions, which is a great new part of college basketball too. Now all these exhibitions are on television or BTN Plus. You can watch them. You can see all these teams. playing in big games. And we had Kentucky and Purdue in an exhibition the other day. Third team foul on UCLA, and that one's on Donovan. Trying to get a clarification on that one. There's Dan Munson, second year at Eastern Washington, of course, coached in Minnesota, took Long Beach State to the NCAA tournament.
After being told he was let go.
Incredible story.
That was one of the best. That was the best story of that 3 years ago. And the fact that they won the Big West tournament, got into the NCAA tournament. He's been doing it a long time, and you know he had different players than he has here at Eastern Washington that he had at Long Beach State. But look, if you can coach, you can coach, and I have a feeling that they're going to overachieve this year. Now that's year 2 for Munson at Eastern Washington.
Of course, he started it out at Gonzaga, where he took the Zags to an Elite 8. The foul, by the way, for UCLA was on Trent Perry, third team foul for the Bruins. But he took Gonzaga to the Elite 8 in his second year back in '99, that Richie Fromm team.
Yep. Which got him the job at Minnesota.
Spent 7 years there, and then 17 at Long Beach. Here's Bilodeau. The pass came from Stephen Jamerson, who is new to the team this year and promises to be a key. Sky Clark is off to a fast start. The backcourt's got 15 of the 17 points for the Bruins.
Back in there, so they have weapons all around, but it's nice to know first game of the year your backcourt can get it going this early.
Stephen Jamerson, who came in a few minutes ago, guarding the ball and doing a good job of it here. Now Trent Perry on Isaiah Moses, who's got 6 points in the early going for Eastern Washington, and he'll set it up.
3-guard lineup for UCLA. He's been in there for the last couple minutes.
Moses throws it away, and Sky Clark will let it go out of bounds.
Sky Clark got to grab that. That's a steal. Why would you let a steal go out of bounds?
He wants that non-steal turnover percentage to go.
That's right. Apparently so.
Trent Perry, quick trigger, and he can't hit.
Talking to the coaches, Trent Perry has made a jump this year in practice. And they're counting on him to play a bigger role. Showed flashes last year, but they're expecting him to play more minutes and be more productive and more confident this season.
First lead for Eastern Washington since it was 2-0. They're shooting 50% from the floor right now. The Bruins at 41%.
Which is unusual against a Mick Cronin coach team.
Dent, tough shot. Jamerson can't corral the rebound, and it goes back to Eastern Washington.
I'll say my PSA that I say every year this time of year. When you let teams come in here and hang around, the more they think they can win the game. And so at some point, UCLA is going to have to give themselves a jolt and put a run together. You don't want to play that dangerous game of letting Eastern Washington hang around for too long.
Eastern Washington's never played in this building as a program. These two have met one time, came back in 2011. Jamerson has that go out of Tyler Powell, and that game in 11 was at the LA Sports Arena when Paulie was under construction.
I remember that year, driving to the sports arena.
I had a feeling what you remembered most was ingress, egress. Just about halfway through the first half.
UCLA thought they'd see some zone from Eastern Washington. It's been pretty effective. Clark
nearly beats it, but a strong rebound there from Kyrie Huey.
That being said, UCLA has missed some point-blank stuff in the paint. One right there from Sky Clark.
Radford fouled on the 3 by Clark, and that's Clark's second foul, and 3 free throws are coming for Stratton Rogers.
Take a look at this. You just don't foul perimeter shooters, and Sky Clark gets underneath them. 3 free throws for Radford.
Johnny Radford step to the line and make the first of 3. Saturday Heisman contender Julian Sand leads Ohio State against Purdue. The action kicks off at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Also rare to see UCLA with one free throw attempt at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is the first real game, but they've played 2 games. They played at San Diego State, won. Played UC Irvine here, won. But you got, like I said earlier, you got to give Eastern Washington some credit. They've come in here, played hard, played with force, and made some shots. And they're up 3, 10.5 into the game.
Bilodeau has not scored yet for UCLA in his 4 attempts. Here's Dent with a gorgeous move. Wow.
What he does best, just getting into the lane and avoiding defenders, either getting to contact or avoiding defenders. Got that one to go there.
Came up grimacing. He's still grimacing a little bit after that hard tumble. Double team comes on Huey in the post. Extra pass for the 3 is too short, but an offensive rebound for Hamilton, and then here comes Dent with it. And he draws the foul on Johnny Radford. Let's take another look at that Donovan Dent.
Well, Guy,
finish.
you've heard me talk a lot about change of speed, change of direction, and Donovan Dent's as good as I've seen in college in a while. Comes down and grimacing a little bit, but just it is so hard for one defender to stay in front of Dent. But again, the secondary part of that is decision making after you beat the primary defender, the guy guarding you. He is so good at that.
Perry. Dent just finding his way to the rim again.
Again, that pace of play, you start with the change of speed direction, but then you play at your own speed. And he's got that decel Euro move that we've already seen a couple times where it's a long step, but slow down, get the defender either behind you or to go past you and finish the play. He did it there.
It's such a trip because you're saying he's going quick, but he looks like he's in slow motion.
But he's changing speeds. You think you're sitting on one speed and he changes it.
Isaiah Moses, after the turnover, lays it in, and Eastern Washington's back in front.
Well, if this keeps up, I would not want to be in the UCLA locker room at halftime. It's just UCLA, Eastern Washington right now is playing harder than UCLA. That's why they're up 1.
Under 8 minutes to go here in the first.
This zone has been effective for Eastern Washington. UCLA's got to either get the ball in the middle or get that thing moving. There you go, inside out.
Dent open look. UCLA is 2 of 8 from beyond the arc.
And I think UCLA is going to be a good three-point shooting team this year. Why? A big part is Dent and his ability to collapse defenses and then spray it out to the perimeter. I think a lot of UCLA guys are going to get a lot of good, clean looks from behind the three-point line this year because of Donovan Dent.
And Dent himself also a good three-point shooter, but then on the turnover, Brown gives it back to Eastern Washington.
The biggest thing in playing for Mick Cronin that we've seen since he's been here at UCLA is toughness and turnovers. They do not turn it over, but they turn you over. And so far, they haven't been able to turn Eastern Washington over enough.
Turnover numbers are even, 3 apiece. Moses, tough step back 3, and he can't hit it. Booker the board. Moses has half of Eastern Washington's points. Good cut and finish. Dent again with the find.
I know I've already been talking about it a lot here in the first half, but Dent just is in complete control of the game offensively. Whether to get his own, that time Brown cuts, he finds him. It's like having an NBA point guard in college. It's what it's like. A guy that understands the game, high basketball IQ, always seems to make the right play, can knock down a 3.
Dent again, contact again, bucket again. He's got 13.
Play after play, change of speed initially, long Euro step decel, take the hit, finish. We got a good one here in Pauley. What I said earlier, look, I think Donovan Dent has a really good chance to be an NBA player. But what I meant earlier was it looks like you're watching an NBA player play with college guys, an NBA point guard, just because he does things that NBA players do with the change of speed, being able to find guys, understanding when to get their own. and just playing at his own speed. That's what NBA players, the game slows down. You play at your own speed. You don't get sped up. You don't rush things. And that just jumps off the page with Dent.
It's the same thing you were saying about Tiger Campbell. Just because he's not an NBA player
Right.
doesn't mean it doesn't look like it when he's on a college floor.
And that's not to say, look, Donovan Dent, I said it earlier, like he's got a very good chance to play in the NBA.
Well, if he had some Mick Cronin defense.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Like he could have came out after his year at New Mexico last year, but just wasn't challenged a lot on the defensive end at New Mexico. And what better place to come to reverse that reputation on the defensive end than to come play for Mick Cronin in UCLA.
Fourth turnover for Eastern Washington. Letting it fly, Jamar Brown, no. Brown was a 40+% three-point shooter for Marvin Menzies at Kansas City last year. And there's an offensive foul called against Stratton Rogers.
Well, I said it during our lineups. I think Jamar Brown is going to be a major factor for UCLA. It ain't going to be every game, but there's going to be a game where he explodes from behind the three-point line. Defensively, he's tough, rebounds his position. Like, he's a really good player and a veteran player.
Fifth year, spent a couple years at JUCO.
Yep, key piece for this UCLA team. I think the longer UCLA continues to not make threes and turn it over like they did there, you're going to see Eastern Washington stay in the zone as Radford knocks down another three for Eastern Washington.
They haven't shot the three great either, but they've made one more than UCLA. Perry answers.
That was a tough one. Off the bounce, over a contest, going to his left. Tough shot for Perry, knocks it down.
Alton Hamilton splits the defense and scores his second basket tonight.
Well, Booker came too quick and opened the gate. There was a gap in between him and Dent. He just stepped right through and made the layup. Booker's got to get tight to Dent so that there's no gap in there.
Perry back-to-back baskets. Another assist for Dent. It's his third.
I think if Trent Perry can have some success here early in the season, that's really going to help his confidence. Last year, like I said earlier, he showed flashes, but just didn't have enough success, sustained success to really get confident. I think if he can get going here early, he's really going to get more confident and be more productive.
Averaged 11 minutes a game last year as a freshman. Now the double comes. Nearly creates a turnover. Shot clock low. And the basket counts. It's a goaltend on Brandon Williams. Or was it Booker?
Booker didn't need to block that. It wasn't going in. It just gave him the 2 points. First of all, it hit the board first.
Which means you're too late.
You're too late, and it wasn't going in anyway.
Under 4 minutes now remaining. 2-point game. Perry hit a 3 and then a 2 on the last 2 UCLA possessions. Bilodeau tries to beat the zone with the 3, and he rattles in his first points of the game.
He can do that, and that's what makes him tough to guard. We saw a lot last year in that mid-post area, backing guys down, going to work, but he can step out and be a really good three-point shooter as well.
Bilodeau made 40% last year. Now here's Dent running. Dent puts it up, and Jamerson gets fouled. In midair, he'll go to the line with 3:25 to go. Trent Perry off the bench, bringing the help. The three-pointer in tough traffic.
Fill needs through the portal, and that's exactly what UCLA did. They kept those 3 guys that we just showed you and then added pieces they need. Xavier Booker, Jamerson, Brown to fill out the roster, and that's why they're a top 15 team in the country to start the year.
Isn't it interesting too what retention means in 2025, 2026? Like, they've got 3 returning starters. Illinois got 3, Purdue's got 4. Those are the most in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
That's a turnover for Eastern.
That's the trick, is keeping players that have been in the program to set the tone for the new guys, whether they're young or old.
Bilodeau, now he's got it going.
Got good touch for a big guy. That's not an easy shot. That little jumper inside the foul line. It's a tough shot. He knocks it down.
Third team All-League last year, transferred here from Oregon State. Dent went for the steal.
See, the energy's picked up some for UCLA out of that timeout.
Long guard, yep, and a good find, and Powell scores on the assist from Radford.
Eastern Washington, if you can score, gives them time to come back and set up this zone that's been pretty effective so far.
Jamerson goes up in traffic. Bilodeau battles and gets it.
Pass,
Radford's down on the floor. Now he gets up. Open man, open three. In and out for Dent.
If the score stays relatively what it's at right now, we may see Dent for 40 minutes tonight.
Even in the early season, Mick Cronin's usual operation, he plays guys a long time. He doesn't go deep into the bench just because he wants to get his team ready for conference play.
Especially if he has a point guard that he trusts. Like you mentioned Tiger Campbell earlier, they're going to play almost the entire game. So you hope you get opportunities, especially in the non-con, where the score reflects or dictates Dent not having to play big minutes.
Trent Perry stepped out of bounds and turns it over. Coming up on the halftime show presented by State Farm, Dave Revson and Rayfeld Davis break down all the action in the Big Ten on opening night of a new season, which started as opening day. I watched them when it was opening day, and they'll be on when it's opening night.
Rafe, we see Dave all the time on football, but see Rafe back in the house.
Nice find again. This Eastern Washington team, remember, playing without what was expected to be their leading scorer this year. Andrew Cook injured, out for the season.
16 a night last year, so a big loss for them.
They were preseason picked 5th in the Big Sky, a 10-team league. Here's Perry, misses it all on a 3. Jamerson there, and the tie up, the ball will stay with UCLA on the possession arrow.
A little too quick for Trent there, Perry. He was open, but he saw the closeout and kind of rushed it a little bit. That's something they'll watch on the film tomorrow. Pull that one down, put it on the deck, get into the paint, make a play for yourself or someone else.
Xavier Booker comes in. Perry passes up the 3, steps in for the 2.
Like that.
Immediate adjustment for the sophomore. That was cool. Under a minute.
Haven't seen Sky Clark in a while. I wonder if there was something that Mick Cronin didn't like.
Turnover. Powell stepped out of bounds.
Why is everyone stepping out of bounds here in the first half, Guy?
The floor, they did not change the size of the floor.
See that? Saw the closeout that time, took his time, put it down, knocks down the mid-range. What I'm talking about, though, with the confidence, when you're confident the game slows down some, you feel plays like that and learn from the previous possession of rushing that 3 in the corner.
Could just be Clark's 2 fouls.
Could be. You would think in a tight game, he's been out for a while.
Bilodeau. Booker taps it. And UCLA can hope for the last shot. And Dent knows it.
See, this is the beauty as well. End of clock, end of half, end of game situation. Put it in his hands, he makes something good happen.
Dent, no. Tap, Booker got it down. He's got 4 points in the first half of his Bruins debut. Dent has 4 league after he was the Mountain West Player of the Year last year. Scored or assisted on 28 of UCLA's 40 points. He had 14 points of his own to go with 6 assists. Isaiah Moses, who wears number 2 in red, led the way for Eastern Washington with 11 points. He's got it now guarded by Tyler Bilodeau, who had 4 first half points.
Luxury for Mick Cronin to have his 4-man being able to switch out on point guards off of action.
Tough turnaround shot is good for Stratton Rogers. He's got 8 points.
again, they are not afraid of coming in here to Pollard Pavilion. That part is clear throughout the first half and here to start the second.
Here's Sky Clark. Xavier Booker, now Donovan Dent.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm telling you, the game is just so slow for Donovan Dent. Always seems to make the right play. Terrific delivery that time to Booker.
7 assists now for Dent, 6 points for Booker. And that's the first miss in 7 shot attempts for Eastern Washington. Here comes Sky Clark. Clark had 8 points in the first half. Brown rattles in a 3.
I think that's what needs to change here in the second half as well. Run on opportunity. Don't have to run every time, but if you can string together some stops, get out in transition, get some easy buckets like that one from Brown, you can push this lead out if you're UCLA.
Huey gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. Foul on Tyler Bilodeau, his first. And let's look back at Donovan Dent's assist.
See, again, in the middle of the defense for Dent, it just breaks it down, and a lot of times that's a kick out to a three-point shooter. That time, the drop down to Booker for the easy dunk.
And a correction on Bilodeau, that's his second foul.
It would be a lot of fun, Guy, to play with Donovan Dent. All you got to do is move and get open, and you're getting the ball.
And he scores.
And he scored.
The way Mick Cronin's put it is, you don't want him to feel like he's got to put on the cape every night, which is something he did a lot of last year.
Playing with a much better roster here at UCLA. And so, yeah, there's going to be some nights where he puts on the cape and gets you 30, but the good news is he doesn't have to.
Booker fouled on the, I can't tell, is this a cape night so far or not? I mean, he's scoring a lot, but other people are scoring too. I guess we'll find out by the end of the night.
Well, again, I said this early in the first half, Guy, that word balance. To me, this isn't a cape because he's got 7 assists. I'm talking about when you put on the cape, it's 20 to 25 FGAs and trying to get 30, 35 points because nothing else is working. I envision for Donovan Dent it looking a lot like this on most nights where, yes, he's getting his own, but he's also getting guys involved, probably going to be near double-digit assists.
Booker, a really good free throw shooter at Michigan State last year, makes 2.
Look at that. Clark just doesn't get screened, which is highly unusual.
You wonder, would the perimeter defense suffer this year? You lose Kobe Johnson, who was all-conference defender. Eligibility up.
Well, I will say this. As good as Dent is becoming and as good as Clark is defensively, Kobe Johnson was 6'6", so he could switch on to bigger wings, even some 4s. Dent and Clark, because of their size, really can't do that, but they can get up on perimeter guys with ball pressure and create havoc on the perimeter.
Fell on Johnny Radford. It's his second. Donovan Dent's third trip to the line. The other 2 were and ones. He got to the line a ton last year. He got to the line 454 times, 6.5 attempts per game.
That's a lot. That number doesn't look like it's a lot, but in college basketball, if you get to the line 6.5 times a game, that's a lot.
There's Sky Clark for the rebound.
It's like UCLA is making an effort to push it in transition, speed this game up a little bit.
Booker took a lot of threes last year, made 17, which was 23%. But as you said earlier, Don, I feel like he's a better three-point shooter than that. Turnover for Eastern Washington, 10th of the game.
Well, it's quality of threes, too. And again, I know we've talked maybe too much. No, you can't talk too much about Donovan Dent, but you are going to get good, clean looks from 3 playing with him. And so the key is for Booker not to spend all his time, but a couple opportunities a game to step out and knock him down because he's probably going to be open.
Extra pass to Bilodeau, and he hits the 3 from Clark. It's Bilodeau's second of the game. He's got 8.
Good unselfish play from Clark there. Bilodeau ready to shoot, knocks it down.
12 assists on 20 field goals for the Bruins. Here's the last one.
Again, Clark, no hesitation, automatic kick out to Bilodeau, ready to go.
Bilodeau didn't score for most of the first half, but he's found it now. And Marquardt, under the pressure, gives it up. Radford, Dent closed quickly. Shot clock's at 5. Moses, no, and there's the rebound for Booker, his 4th. Whistle. And a blocking foul called on Johnny Radford. That's number 3 on him.
Should that have been a continuation there? Was there more than one step after the contact? Let's take a look at it. There's the hit. 1, 2, yeah.
3.
Good call by the officials, not counting that basket from Dent.
Clark, well, he gets it up quick. Anderson cut off. Marquardt. That might have been bothered. Well, it was bothered because Dent fouled him, and that's the first on Donovan Dent.
But on that initial play, Guy, you see the presence Booker can have at the rim. Deterring guys from attempts, going after shots, changing shots. You don't have to block them all, but if you can change them or make a guy pass, like Moses went in there like he was going to score. And decided to give it up once he saw Booker rotate over.
Marquardt, his first trip to the line, makes the first. And now Trent Perry had a good first half, comes back in. One of 2. Clark all the way to the rim, and he's into double figures.
Taking a page out of Dent's book with that change of speed, blow by, easy layup.
Largest lead of the game for UCLA. It was a 7-point lead at the half. Well, Sky Clark has been as advertised back at UCLA, where he averaged 8 points per game last year, already
to the Big Ten, always willing to talk, always generous with his time, and just sad, just gone way too soon. He will be missed.
You can tell talking to people around this league, everybody's still in shock of his passing, devastated by it. We got to talk to the officials today, and Vern Harris, who worked with him. He said, I would not be in this league if it were not for Terry. They worked so many high-level games, each of them together over the years. Randy Richardson and Nate Harris, the other 2 officials today. There's Nate, who said he got calls on a almost weekly basis during the summer, just Terry checking in on him, making sure he's doing well. And all 3 said no matter what you say about how good official he was, the guy, the family man, far exceeds it.
Yep, and that came across early to us last year for sure.
There's Booker with the basket. Our 3rd official today, Randy Richardson, said he was a mentor, and you could tell for all 3 of them talking about him before the game, it was emotional. So many got to get together at his memorial service a couple of weeks ago in Chicago, and as painful as it was, they also said it was a beautiful thing to celebrate a man loved by so many. So
will be missed, that's for sure.
5 minutes gone by here in the second half, and Eastern Washington trying to keep contact after trailing by 7 at the break. UCLA, Don, you mentioned it, you can really feel the pace has picked up for the Bruins here in the second half.
The defensive energy's picked up, and I think it looks like there was talk about let's speed this game up a little bit and try and take advantage of opportunities of when to run off of stops. Told you, Trent Perry, man, he can really be a factor for this UCLA team. Off to a really nice start here in his first real game for UCLA this year.
It has to be tough, you know, the position he's in. Great block there from Jamar Brown. Clean up in the score for Rogers. The thing about being a freshman coming in last year, team at UCLA, there's no developmental years, right? You're here to win.
Yep.
And it's got to be tough for a young player to fit in.
And playing behind good players.
Yeah. Booker the rebound. Booker converts it. 6th board, 12 points.
This is what, and I don't think it's there yet, but I think the more Mick Cronin and his staff challenge Booker to be that guy. Let's start on the inside, be a presence defensively, protect the rim, rebound. Then he gets opportunities to score. You know, and this is the thing, Guy. Look, there's a lot of known commodities here on this UCLA team. The core group that we've talked about, the emergence of Trent Perry. I really believe that Booker is the key for UCLA, not to achieve what we think they can achieve, but to go above and beyond what they might be able to achieve if he continues to evolve, is that big guy, rim runner, rim protector, rebounder.
Junior from Indianapolis. Now here's Brandon Williams, who turns it over. 6th turnover today for UCLA.
Nowhere to go for Williams there.
Comes over to help, and Howland. Moses gives it up. And it goes down for Alton Hamilton.
That's really good execution out of the double team by Eastern Washington. Got it out, kept moving it, got it from one side to the other, finished with a layup on the other side.
Booker almost lost it, was able to get it to Sky Clark. Eastern Washington, this is the first of a stretch in which they play 7 of 8 on the road. Brown around and around and around, and it won't go down. And it's off of Williams, out of bounds to Eastern Washington. The Big Show delivers highlights, post-game analysis, post-game interviews, and more next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Revson and Rayfel, the combo tonight.
Jamar Brown is known for his three-point shooting. That time got into the teeth of the defense, got to 2 feet, but didn't trust his play. He should have went up initially. He ended up going offhand, off window. Tough shot. Could have shot that over his right shoulder with his right hand.
Eric Freeney has come in for UCLA, and here comes Donovan Dent. 16 points for Dent, 7 assists in his Bruin debut. That's blocked and popped away. Good defense there from JoJo Anderson.
I think that was a pass to Booker that got deflected.
Anderson, who deflected it, converts on the offensive end.
It looked like UCLA coming out of the half was going to bust this thing open. Got it to 15. Now back to 10.
Booker.
Good find.
Eric Freeney can't convert the 3. Freeney, his debut tonight after redshirting last year as a freshman. Here comes Dent. Bilodeau racing with him. Dent will take it himself. Booker the cleanup.
Run the floor and rebound. For Booker, he will have success if he understands how to get good at that.
It's interesting listening to Mick Cronin talking about him. Anderson, another 3. Back-to-back for Eastern Washington. Pardon me, that was Hamilton.
This isn't surprising. Dan Munson, I mentioned it right off the top. He brought numerous Long Beach State teams in here. They are well coached, they execute, they play hard, and they're hanging around here in Pauley.
Back to Booker. Now Dent free for a 3.
Second time in a row, Booker got it on the low block. Didn't panic, didn't try and force it, went opposite. Last time, Freeney couldn't knock it down. That time, Dent did.
First 3 of the night for Dent. Oh, and there's Booker with a block.
Go. Impact the game in a positive way, and Booker is doing that here in the second half.
Now it's Bilodeau. And Dan Munson's going to take a timeout. Back to 15 for UCLA, matching the largest lead of the night. Donovan Dent has 19 points. And Xavier Booker debuting just like Dent, doing a little bit of everything. It was a school record for Michigan, 69 first half points.
Michigan's going to be really good. They have a lot of new players. I'm sure there'll be some time needed to get coherent with each other, cohesive.
No, I like coherent. Speaking of tomorrow night's analysis.
It's not going to be coherent tomorrow night.
Here's Bilodeau at 3. No. Well, you know, it's so fun. You look around the league and you see familiar names, some of them in different places, and Michigan's one of those, right? Adai Mara, the former Bruin, had a double-double at 12 and 12 tonight for Michigan.
Rez Johnson from Illinois at Michigan had 20+ tonight as well.
Dusty Mays going back to the bigs.
Think about that. If they could play Lendeboard, Mara, and Morez Johnson, good luck dealing with that front line.
What do you think? Can they?
I think they could. I think Lendeboard can play some 3. That would be a jumbo lineup if there ever was one in college basketball.
Here's a clean look for Radford, and he connects. 6th 3 of the game for Eastern Washington.
They continue to move the ball. That's why they're getting good shots. And hanging around, still only down 12, under 9 to go.
I mentioned they were picked 5th in the Big Sky. Montana picked to win the league. Montana State represented the league last year by winning the conference tournament. There's a foul on Isaiah Moses. Back home, one of the benefits of the location of LA, right, is that when, especially now with the portal gone, there's Bilodeau attacking.
Good find by Perry. Under control, took the baseline. Bilodeau cuts right to the front of the rim. Perry finds him.
But programs in talent-rich areas with the portal maybe didn't recruit a guy out of high school or had to pick somebody else, or they picked another place. Now guys want to come home after a year or 2 or 3.
Yep. No, I don't think UCLA recruits people in the portal just from Southern California, but I think players want to come back. And so it makes it easier to recruit them.
Offensive rebound, another tee of a 3. And the body's all over the place. Good rebound from Jamison. Out to Dent, and he misses the dunk. The first thing that hasn't gone right for him tonight.
This game isn't out of reach yet to where you can afford those mistakes, and Sky Clark right to the scorer's table.
Now a whistle away from the ball. It's a foul on Jamar Brown. 7:29 to go here in regulation. Sky Clark coming in. Speaking of that, Washington in action right now on Big Ten Plus.
I have a major prediction, guy, for you. I've waited now that we showed the Washington game. You ready?
Ready.
Washington will not finish last in the Big Ten this year.
So how much? Okay. I'll take that. Don's on the record. I know you think highly of Danny Sprinkle, the head coach there.
I do, and they, went into the portal and got some big-time players. Now, whether they can put it together this early, it's like they are in their first game. But a lot of role definition needs to be made because they have so many good players. It'll be fascinating to see how that plays out. But they, no doubt, have a much, much better team than they had last year.
They brought Wesley Yates back. Eastern Washington's going to take a timeout. Wesley Yates starts his career, redshirts, plays at USC last year, returns to UW. This year he's got 9.
To see 3 teams in the same league do it in one night.
Donovan Dent to the bench. Sky Clark into the game for UCLA. This was a 7-point game at the half. The Bruins have stretched it out here in the second, but haven't really been able to get past that 15-point lead. Eastern Washington's hit some threes and played well, but there they turn it over. 13th time today. Here comes Trent Perry. Perry looking to create, instead commits a foul.
I was just getting ready to say, because it looked like he was going to force the action in transition. Good decision to pull it out. He pulled it out for a dribble, then went back and turned it over with the offensive foul.
Good defense there from Johnny Radford, who's playing with 3 fouls of his own. Now Jamerson will go out, and Booker, who's got 14 points and 7 rebounds, comes back in.
UCLA's always been so good under Mick Cronin here at UCLA. When their defense is right, they guard, turn you over without fouling. Only 9 team fouls here with under 7 minutes to go.
Eastern Washington shooting 50% for the game. Tough finish inside. They just do not go away.
They can't deliver the knockout punch, UCLA. Every time it looks like they're going to blow it open, Eastern Washington gets a bucket, hangs in there.
And Goyi was the one that scored there on Bilodeau, that last basket for the Eagles. And now he gets it again inside, but can't handle that pass. And it's a turnover. This was the previous possession.
Anderson's coming here. He's playing hard, man.
Made a couple plays on the defensive end. And now Bilodeau from Booker. Anderson was left alone with those two. Good luck.
I like that unselfish play by Booker. If he had turned and scored that himself, nobody would have said anything, but he made the unselfish play, extra pass to Bilodeau for an even easier finish.
3 assists for Booker to add to his stat line. There's Anderson again.
Sometimes if you just play hard, good things happen. And Anderson's making things happen here.
There's one thing is clear, you never know how a team's going to walk into a historic venue against a historic program, and not to mention, forget about all the history, 12th ranked team in the country, UCLA. And there's no part of Eastern Washington looked apprehensive coming into this gym tonight.
But I made this point earlier, Guy, and we've seen it for years in here. If you let the team get off to a good start, then they feel like they can hang and stay in the game, and that's exactly what's happening now. UCLA didn't come out with the right energy and gave Eastern Washington some confidence, and they've kept it going here deep into this game.
Marquardt hits the 3, 7th 3 to game. They haven't hit a high percentage, but they've hit them in some big spots. And it's back to 11.
Well, now if you're UCLA, forget about blowing this thing open. Now let's just manage the last 4.5 and get out of here with a W.
Pretty move from Donovan Dent, but it won't go down, and he sits on 19 points tonight. Ngoy
call
with the offensive foul. It was Bilodeau that took it, adding the defensive effort to what he's done on the offensive end tonight.
He called it travel there. Good anticipation by Nate Harris and Vern Harris. It looked like it was going to be an easy offensive foul, but he traveled before he got to the contact. And Bilodeau now with 19. See,
there you go.
Travel before the contact.
Good eye, Don.
Good for something around here, Guy.
Yeah, thank goodness basketball season's here. I don't know what you do.
Me neither.
Oh, that's right. You do more basketball. Yeah. Here's Bilodeau. Finds Clark. Tough shot from the corner. And it is out off of Eastern Washington. Break for the Bruins. 3:50, 3:49 to go here in regulation. And UCLA trying to get to 1-0. Michigan State, and remembers fondly the day as a high schooler he was playing in a pickup game, an open gym with the Michigan State players, and Magic Johnson was a recruit and subbed him out. And Dan didn't know who he was. He wasn't happy to be subbed out of the game. And Judd came up to him and said, one day you will be proud that guy, Irvin Johnson, subbed you out of this summer league game, this summertime game. But of course, his father, just a beloved figure, and Dan is so well respected as well. In his second year, what is his father's alma mater, Eastern Washington.
Well, whether or not they win the game tonight, Dan Munson's got to be proud of the effort of his Eastern Washington team. This UCLA team is loaded, nationally ranked. It's going to be really good this year, but they've gone toe-to-toe with them all night.
In a tough league, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Of course, I mentioned earlier, Montana picked to win it. It was Montana that went to the tournament. Travis DeCure, the head coach there, has had a lot of success. And they are picked again to be the team that wins the league. There's Tyree Huey, and you can just see, you mentioned earlier, Don, that he'll be a force in that league this year.
No doubt. A little undersized if he was playing against Big Ten opponents all year, but in the Big Sky, he's going to be extremely effective.
Trent Perry with the basket.
So much more under control. I know it's only one game, small sample size, but that time turned the corner off the high ball screen, put the defender in jail, took his time, saw that no one was in front of him, pulled up and knocked it down.
UCLA stretched it to 15. There's Sky Clark going to the deck for it. 5 Bruins in double figures scoring in this game, including Trent Perry has 11. In fact, all 5 of them are on the floor right now.
UCLA will use most of the shot clock.
Clark with the turnaround. Loose ball picked up by Hamilton. Isaiah Moses has had a good game. 15, 11 came in the first half. He thought about it, then he saw the mismatch. And Sky Clark is whistled for the foul, his 4th.
That'll be free throws for Eastern Washington.
Eastern Washington.
You wonder this, guy. And I'm not just talking about Mick Cronin and his staff. I'm saying across the board, when you have a game like this where it looked like a mismatch on paper before the game started, and it hasn't been your best, you almost hope as a coach that you get the win first and foremost, but now you'll have your team's attention. When you watch the film tomorrow, you know, listen, you want to play great every game, but you're not going to. But I think in this first game of the year, if you come out and it's not your best, it can work to the coach's advantage.
Under 2 minutes. Perry. Dent. Bilodeau, now Clark. Shot clock's at 5. And it's tucked away. Radford, need that, and it won't go. A big opportunity there for Eastern Washington. Is now Sky Clark's going to take all the time in the world.
You would think.
You would think, but he shot it with 13 the last time. Clark with 13 on the shot clock off the back rim.
Well, it's not going to hurt him, but you would think time and score, clock management, take it down a little bit longer.
A nice given score for Hamilton, and Eastern Washington's going to take a timeout. 8-point game. These guys have come to play today.
Well, they have, but again, I feel like UCLA could have taken this clock down enough to where even if this bucket goes, there's not enough time, but now you get it to 8. Dan Munson's going to call.
In Seattle, their first trip will be in the new year to Iowa and Wisconsin. So when they start, they start. It will not be easy. 3 guards on the floor, and Dent is fouled by Radford. Dent's a 78% free throw shooter last year. Tonight he's 4 of 4. Not there yet.
Not in the bonus yet.
4 fouls now on Johnny Radford.
I think if UCLA can score on this possession, Eastern Washington will probably let it go. If they get a stop, nice job denying that time.
Mick Cronin took a timeout. excellent free throw shooters on the floor, a team full of excellent free throw shooters, and the foul on Sky Clark. He's a 76% free throw shooter. That foul was on Tyler Powell. 7th team foul now for the Eagles. So 1-and-1 coming for Clark, who has not been to the line tonight. UCLA holding a couple of subs right now. And now one of them will come in. It's Jamar Brown. Although both come in, here comes Brandon Williams. So Booker and Bilodeau out. And Clark misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Bucket here, things get interesting.
Isaiah Moses. Tough three. Radford, no. He's hit a couple tonight, and now Dent's going to break out. He'll take it the other way to score, and UCLA's up by 10.
A long rebound. Dent on the run was able to take it coast to coast for the finish, and that should do it.
Moses will heave a three, in and out. Marquardt will bring him 2 points closer, and the shot clock is now off. And Perry's going to go to the line, where he has not been yet today. 18 fouls now for the Eagles. Give them credit, down 15.
Yeah, they've stayed with it all night. There was a couple stretches there in the second half where you thought UCLA was going to blow it open, but Eastern Washington was able to hang in there and keep it close.
Second straight front end 1-and-1 miss for the Bruins by a good free throw shooter. Perry was 86% last year, and there's a basket for Hamilton. And now they'll call it off, but a great effort from Eastern Washington. They go down by 6. UCLA opens up the season 80-74, and they are 1-0.
Well, again, a lot to look at for UCLA, but give Eastern Washington